welcome back to my channel. So today we have a video by Denver Metro Audits, and of course he has his elderly harlot Regan Benson in tow with him. It's like he can't do anything without her coddling him through it all. It's ridiculous, but it gives for better entertainment when he does a video. This is the one where he goes into the police department in Littleton, Colorado to retrieve his hoodie that they've had in evidence for 4 years. Now, I'm still trying to figure out why he would wait 4 years to try and get his hoodie back, because according to him, the suspect was caught a couple months after the incident and has been in prison since. So why would you wait 4 years? Oh, because you're desperate for content. That's right. Anyways, hope you enjoy the video.
To conduct some business, some personal business. They've been holding my property as evidence for 4 years now, and now that they found out that I'm an auditor, Detective Goodman will not even respond to any of my voicemails. I've left 4 voicemails in the last few months, and she's ignored every single one of them now. So she used to call me back right away and totally nice, but now that she knows that I hold her and her colleagues accountable, she thinks that she can just completely ignore me, I guess. So let's go in here and check it out, guys, see how it goes.
I'm over here with little bro. DMA was a victim of a very serious violent crime 4 years ago. And they have his property in evidence. And they just won't release it. They said they were going to release it. He's been dealing with this for the past year and a half. So this should get really interesting. There he is. Here we go.
Okay, so Christopher is so worried about this cheap-looking hoodie that has been in evidence for 4 years. You know, they've probably told you how to get it back over these 4 years. You've just refused to do it that way and hold on to it until you were desperately in need of content and then decided to go and, well, make this video. I mean, plain and simple. Christopher, you're not that important. You're not important enough for this woman to sit there and say, oh, he's doing audits on us. We're going to purposely ignore him. No, the woman is working. She has a job. If you call her consistently, asking her for the same thing over and over and over, eventually she's going to get fed up with feeding your childlike mentality, and she's going to stop responding to your phone calls, which it seems like is what she did. It was not that hard. I'm sure she's told you a million times how to retrieve your hoodie, and you still didn't do it. That's not on her. That's on you.
Hi, how are you? Good. Joanne.
Let's try.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of here.
I'm here for Detective Goodman. Is she available?
Oh, I don't know. We'll call upstairs and see if she's upstairs, because they're in a different part of the building, so we'll find out.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you have an appointment with her, or?
Well, no. I've reached out to her. I probably left her 5 voicemails, and she keeps ignoring me, so I'm just coming down here now.
Okay. Actually, I had to speak to another detective.
She's in a meeting.
She's doing an interview.
Right, of course.
Somebody from another case.
If she wants to just come down here for 2 minutes and say, hey, this is the deal, this is why I ignored you, you want to make an appointment, bam, and we'll be out of here and I'll come back.
Or better yet, send her supervisor.
Or supervisor,
So,
but yeah.
Okay, all right. Let me call back up there and I'll grab another detective.
Okay.
Great.
No, absolutely not. They are not going to pull her out of a meeting or interview that she's doing for another case just to come down there and, hand over a hoodie? That's what evidence is for. That's where you should have gone, not to the detective. She does not hold evidence, nor does she give it back when they no longer need it. But they're not going to pull her out of a meeting or an interview to deal with you. And I think it was really childish and dumb that they even expected that she would be pulled out just to deal with them.
No, usually the ladies at the window, they're great. There is one thing that I don't like, though, is this thing up here that they have.
Yeah, their blue line flag.
And I actually spoke with someone in regards to that. One of the ladies up here, and I was like, hey, I explained it's a desecration. And I was like, I talked about getting that removed. And you could tell she really was trying to be nice. the flag that you guys have over there?
Mm-hmm.
The blue line on it?
Mm-hmm.
So, could you, that's actually a desecration of the flag. It's against the flag code. So the flag code strictly states that the flag is not to be altered in any way, even if it's for police officers. So, do you think you could take that down for me?
I can't take it down, but I'll ask somebody to.
Oh, okay. Can I get your name?
My name's Terry.
Terry, you're going to ask someone? Who would you ask?
My boss,
Who's that?
Joanne Ryan.
Joanne Ryan? Does she have a business card that I could take with me? Okay, so she is division manager. Okay, so that's the boss right there. So Joanne Ryan.
Okay, since the flag with the blue line hurts Chris's feelings to the point where he's literally crying about it, it hasn't been desecrated at all. Just for educational purposes for Christopher and his followers, desecrating is when you treat a sacred place or thing with violent disrespect or you violate it. Let's just get this out in the open right now with this whole blue line flag bullshit. The blue line flag is not the American flag. It's similar to the American flag, but it is not the American flag. The American flag is red, white, and blue. The blue line flag, which represents police officers, is black, silver, or black, white, and then with a blue line. Okay, so this here is our blue line flag. This flag represents police officers. Great. Does it resemble the American flag? Absolutely. Is it the American flag? No. This flag here represents our corrections officers. You know, those people that work in our prison systems. You know, to keep inmates in line and keep them from escaping and wreaking havoc on our country. That's what this flag stands for. Then we have the blue and black with the white line. This one represents EMS. We then have this flag, which represents federal agents and or military. We then have this one, which represents our fire department. Then we have this beauty of a flag. It has one star, but it's still is similar, very similar to the American flag. This flag is the Liberian flag. Then we have this one. Doesn't have the same colors in it, but it's still similar to the American flag. That's why I chose it. It was very short-lived, but it represents the Provisional Republic of Brazil. Then we have this flag. This flag is the flag for Bikini Atoll, Marshall Islands. Again, similar, but not the American flag. And then we have this flag. This flag is the Malaysian flag. Similar, but not the American flag. My point is, it's not the American flag. The blue line flag is not the American flag. It is a flag that was made to look similar to the American flag, but it's not the same flag. Therefore, the blue line flag is not an alteration or it's not altering or desecrating our American flag at all. This is just something for crybabies like Christopher and Chili, Ask Elmo, pretty much every frauditor out there to literally cry and whine about. Because if they can't find something else, they have to have something. And they found the blue line flag and said, hey, we're going to run with that one. They can run with it. They can cry about it. They can whine about it. They can demand it being removed. They can beg for it to be taken down. But guess what? It's called freedom of speech. And everyone who flies these flags has the right in this country to fly those flags because we have freedom of speech. Just because they are police officers, fire department, corrections officers, EMS does not take away their rights to freedom of speech. And if the departments want to fly these flags that represent their department, they're allowed to do it. Just because it hurts your feelings does not mean they have to remove it.
I don't know. I don't know what the situation is, so I don't know which way to advise you.
The release of evidence.
So is it evidence in a case that belongs to you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you usually have to make an appointment with our...
Like I said, I've already called Detective Goodman 5 times.
Yeah, Detective Goodman's not in property and evidence.
Doesn't matter. I've been in contact with Detective Goodman for 4 years now, and every single time that I've called Detective Goodman in regards to my property to
Oh my God, he just continuously repeats the same thing. I was speaking to detective for 4 years, and she said if I wanted my property back, I can come and get it. Yes, but I'm also pretty sure, since she is the one who has a job in this profession, she knows what she's talking about. So she's probably told Christopher a million times, if you want your hoodie back, you need to contact evidence and make an appointment to come down and pick it up. But Christopher doesn't do that because Christopher doesn't like to do things the right way. He likes to make a big deal out of it and throw a tantrum. So instead, he keeps calling the detective for 4 years, trying to get a hoodie back. Why would you want it back after 4 years anyways? And then he's told again right now in this video, he is literally told to receive his evidence. All he had to do is make an appointment with evidence to come down and retrieve it. And then you've got Hyena behind there, starts laughing, like, shut up. Why are you laughing? Because she told you both common sense? Because she told you what the detective had been telling Christopher for 4 years, and he can't follow simple directions in life? I mean, come on. All of this, he knew what to do. He knew exactly what to do. But they were running out of content. They had to create something else. So here we are.
4 years ago, I was driving down Santa Fe here in Littleton, and some guy was behind me with his brights on, tailing me real hard, right? So I just hit my brakes, and I kind of was going slow. I think the speed limit's like 45 there, and I was going probably like 35. I was going like 10 under. I wasn't in the fast lane. I was in the middle lane. And I was like, dude, I'm just going to go slow then if you're going to just sit right behind me tailgating with your brights on. That's just an asshole move. And it's not like I was blocking traffic. There wasn't that much. He could have easily gone around me, but he wanted to be a douche and just sit there and follow me. So eventually he got over in the HOV lane to pass me, and as he passed me, he started dumping in my truck.
Dumping, as in open firing.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize that the window, my side window, exploded into my face, went through both windows. I had several bullet holes in my truck, and I actually chased him. It was a high-speed chase, and it lasted about an hour.
Why did you have to chase him?
And so I was on the phone with dispatch saying, this guy just shot in my truck. I need help. I need assistance. I'm in pursuit. They kept telling me to back down, stand down. We don't have anyone right now. We don't have anyone. And I was like, well, if I just let him go, you guys are never going to do anything. So I'm going to stay in pursuit. And I followed him, crazy driving for, like I said, about an hour. We actually drove into the city. We drove into the city of Sheridan, because this is kind of like where all the cities meet. And we were in like kind of a residential neighborhood. And you know how like police officers, they'll park like this so they can like chop it up with each other? Well, they were doing that, but they were outside of their vehicles. Just a few officers just chilling. It looked like they were just having a break. It looked like a movie, guys. Like we were hauling ass. Wheels are screeching. I'm honking my horn. We're going like this. Help, help, right? And we're just driving all crazy. And they just don't even nothing. They just like look at us and let us drive by.
Sheridan Police Department.
And then we go through several jurisdictions. They kept for an hour. They didn't have anyone.
So it'd be
this is a serious
Denver,
crime.
Littleton, and nobody
Littleton, and
State Patrol here because of Santa Fe. 911 could not find a single cop to deal.
This is a serious incident too.
Yeah.
This is not like a little minor thing. And eventually what happened is he got on I-25 and ditched me because I just had this old beater truck, and so he had a nice like pickup, so he was able to finally get away from me. I think the guy was drinking, but I had to go to the hospital. I had to get glass pulled out of my eye because when it exploded, so they had to put this thing in my eye
So, Christopher's story. How many of you, and let me know in the comments, how many of you believe it? I'm seeing so many holes in the story that it's not even funny. First of all, he's calling the guy that was behind him the asshole, saying that riding his ass was the asshole move, or not riding his ass, but driving close behind him with his high beams on was the asshole move. No, Christopher, the asshole move was you brake checking somebody, okay, at night, and then riding their ass, tailgating them. That was the asshole move. You caused the road rage. Whatever problem this guy had, you don't know if he was drinking, but for you to say, well, I think he was drinking, there's you going to assumptions again. But you have to be careful on the road. I mean, Chili is a perfect example of that. He's unhinged. If you drove past him and looked at him sideways, Chili would literally follow you for hundreds of miles, swarming your car, yelling and screaming at himself in a rearview mirror, and brake checking you and riding your tail. You have to be careful on the road. But you decided that you were going to play this macho man and piss somebody off on the road. I don't believe for a second you were going 35 and a 45. Until you saw the guy behind you who had his high beams. Some people forget that they have their high beams on. You brake checking him, that was where you were wrong. You initially created the entire situation. The guy shooting into your car, yes, that's bad. That's horrible, actually. But I don't believe that you called 911 and it took an hour for police to come out and help you. Not in that area of Colorado. It's not like you were in downtown Denver and the police were busy. I mean, come on. You're driving past two cop cars screaming, help me out a window, and they just stand there and stare at you? I mean, unless they knew who you were already and thought you were just being yourself. I don't think that's, I don't know. I can't say for sure until I receive the 911 call that you made. I have FOIA requested those, so we'll see what they say and what you're saying on them and how long it initially took police to get out there. Do I believe the guy got away? Yeah, of course. I mean, if he was driving a newer vehicle and you were driving a hoopty, then yeah, okay. But your behavior is what created that situation. It just goes to show that even before you started frauditing, you've been a vile human being prior. Have you ever been a good person? Have you ever been a decent human being in life? Or have you always gone around like the entitled asshole man-child that you do now, thinking that everybody owes you, and if anybody crosses you in even the smallest way, then you're going to retaliate in a way of brake checking and tailgating? I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. And then he says later that the guy was caught months later and was indicted, and he's been in prison for years. Great. So what? The whole case was closed at that point? It was solved, and yet you're still waiting 4 years for a hoodie.
They refused to identify, and then I came and filed complaints.
Okay.
And I looked up their policy. It states in their policy they have to verbally identify when they make contact.
Absolutely.
Sergeant Evans said, oh, well, he didn't make contact with you. Even though
he shoved you?
On the video, he says, get out, get out. That's making contact, guys. Get out of the bush. Get out of the bush. Don't touch me. Don't touch it out. Don't touch me. Touch it out. And so he has to verbally identify, so him and...
He's giving you an order.
Yeah. Him and what was the other girl's name? Geyser. Can I get name back first? I need cards, please. Geyser, I need your card. Geyser.
Hello?
He goes, hey, I need your name and badge.
Well, I wish I would have known this prior to. I would have given him an F on the way out the door and a few more FUs.
Yeah, well.
Damn it!
He's polite, but it doesn't matter if you're polite while you're being a tyrant. While you're going against your policy, while you're being a tyrant. Yeah. It wants to be a cordial tyrant.
So did they give you an actual determination on the complaint?
Here's the response I got from Sergeant Evans in regards to my complaint on Geyser and Corporal Martins. Officers must provide their business cards to each individual they contact. After reviewing the video, neither officer contacted you or was in contact with you throughout the duration of the incident, which is a blatant lie. I just showed you guys the interaction I had.
I know I've gone over this before, but it was in another video. Basically, a police officer's policy usually states that they are required to identify when they have made contact with you first. So if they're on a call or whatever and they come to you or they pull you over or they stop you on the street or something, yes, they do have to identify. But if you're in the police department throwing a tantrum and causing a disturbance and they just happen to come out and you're screaming at them and they tell you to leave, they didn't make contact with you first. They came out and you said something to them. He was telling you to get out. You were being disorderly, you were causing a ruckus, and they told you to get out. They had every right to do that. And broadly speaking, law enforcement officers do not have a legal duty to disclose either their identities or their agencies of affiliation, even if asked directly. So, Christopher, policies don't matter. Policies don't trump the law. Well, they don't have a legal duty to disclose either their identities or their agencies of affiliation. You seem to think that policies don't matter for anyone else, but police officers should be held accountable for policies. Do you see how hypocritical that is? You can't have your cake and eat it too. It's one way or the other.
That was hanging the phone up on me and telling me I'm going to tell you whatever I want to tell you, all kinds of things. Oh, yeah, it is. I had to file a complaint.
Wow.
Oh, look at his Silvis here. Yeah. So I remember when I spoke to you about a year and a half ago, and you hung the phone up on me and told me you're going to tell me whatever you want to tell me. You remember that? When I was trying to get my hoodie back, the same one? You don't remember that? No. I had to file a complaint on you, yes. And then the sergeant lost the complaint. You remember that? You remember talking down to me and being a total asshole?
Do you want your sweatshirt or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want you to do better, man. That's what I want.
I would like to see your ID.
What's the
I have to get an ID?
Yes.
To get my...
Okay.
Hey!
See?
Hey, Mr. Dickface, come back here and tell us what your process is. You don't get to be a dick and turn around and walk away.
Yeah, see, you're just
What's
proving...
your process?
You're just proving...
Okay, so Technician Silvas comes out with the evidence bag with this old, crusty, ugly, cheap hoodie that Chris has been supposedly trying to get back for 4 years and is now trying to get back. It's right there. It's right there. All he has to do is show his ID to verify he's the person that owns this hoodie, and the hoodie's his. Easy peasy. 3 minutes out the door. No. Absolutely not. Chris has to start verbally attacking this man right off the bat. And then when the man tells him what the process is, which is showing the ID to verify it's your property, then you've got hyena bitch in the back who starts screeching all over the place and screaming and calling this man a dick face. And oh my God, it's like, you can't take these two children out in public at any time. It's sad. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing seeing human beings behave this way in public. All he had to do was ID, prove that it's his property, and he's done. Out the door. That's it. Then you got her in the background. Well, you're not going to leave until you tell us your policy, your process. What's your process? He just told you the process, dummy. It's identify yourself so that we can give you your property and make sure that we're giving the property to the rightful owner. But they don't hear that. All they hear is, we need content, we need content, we need content. They had this planned out before they even walked in there, just like they had that whole thing planned out and planning to be arrested when the 5 of them got arrested. Everything they do is planned out. That's what's disgusting, is they have followers believing that all of this is spontaneity, and it's not. It's all for show. It's all planned. It's all for money.
Too, and not somebody else saying it is you.
Is that your defined process? Do you have something that I can read that says that?
For an ID. You wouldn't want somebody coming and asking for something of yours. Go
away. Nobody asked for you to come out here.
They're all on their phones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I understand.
So the ID is fair, but you need to see that before you sign for that.
Yeah. I'm going to go get my ID then.
And what he should have said was, you know what, sir, I apologize for any misunderstanding. Here's your evidence. Here's how we do this. Blah, 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 blah. But no, instead, it's total 100%. I don't have to do this. I don't have to talk. I don't have time for this.
Okay. I have time for this. I have time for this.
You gonna go get your ID?
I'm gonna run.
First of all, Regan, this is not your home. This is the police department. You can go away. They actually work there. They actually work. They don't have to go away. Secondly, they will talk to Chris. Keep in mind that, Regan, you're the irrelevant one there. Okay? This has nothing to do with you. It's not your property. You have nothing to do with the situation. You didn't even know him at the time of the incident. You are irrelevant. They don't have to talk to you. And they sure as hell don't have to coddle to any of you. He came out respectfully. He was nice. He was calm. And he was professional until the both of you started running your mouths, and he noticed that Chris was only trying to cause an issue. Yes, you're damn right. He has the right to say, I don't have time for this, because they have actual work to do. Unlike you and Christopher, he has work to do. He doesn't have time to entertain 2 children throwing a tantrum down in a lobby. And why doesn't Chris have his ID with him? I mean, why does he have to go out to get his ID? I mean, I guess some people just don't carry it with them all the time. I know. Maybe that's just it. I don't know. I always have my ID on me because you never know when you're going to need it. Especially when you're picking up property from evidence at a police department. Common sense says I may have to identify to make sure so that they know that I'm the person that really owns this property. But Christopher's already proven he does not have common sense.
You say pick up an item from evidence, understand?
Well, we don't need to answer your questions. I don't know why you were out here, but what's up?
Oh, we heard yelling, that's why we came out.
Oh, you heard yelling. That's why you came out here.
Yes, correct.
Well, everything's just fine.
Okay, if you guys are yelling out here, you guys are gonna have to leave, okay? So there's no yelling.
How's this for not yelling? How's this for
Now
not
you guys have to leave, okay, please?
We have to what?
You guys gotta leave.
Why?
Are you doing any business here, conducting any business?
Shouldn't you have figured that out before you came out here, you f***ing dummy?
You can cuss all you want.
Yeah, I know I can.
Raise my voice.
Yeah, so f***
I'm
you.
not gonna do
Get the
anything.
f*** out of here. Nobody asked you to come out here.
So, you guys are raising your voice.
Goodbye.
You guys need to leave.
Bye.
Okay?
We're not
Are you asking?
leaving.
I understand you're.
We're not
asking
leaving.
something from
Bye.
records.
Don't talk to him.
Did you ask for
Yeah.
records?
Is there something we can help you guys with?
Oh, okay.
Ask for his ID.
Who is this tyrant?
Are they asking for anything from evidence?
They can come out here. Let me start. They don't even know what's going on.
Huh?
What's your name?
Officer Adler.
Officer Adler.
Yes.
How are you?
Sergeant Martinez.
Sergeant Martinez.
Yeah.
How long you been here?
23 years.
Oh,
You get your card, Martinez?
You need to retire.
You get your card, Martinez.
He's coming back out. He's just checking to see what's
Can you bash him, please?
Oh, Jordan.
11:04.
If you want your items, we need your ID.
Please.
We need your ID.
Please.
Okay? So, do you want your stuff or not?
Yeah, well,
Listen
Okay,
to the way they
ID.
fucking talk. Here's it. Oh, now he's.
Look at the way you talk to us, man.
Look at the way you're talking to me.
Comes.
I haven't even raised my voice.
You came out here.
Have I raised my voice? Have I raised my
telling
ID?
us to
Do
leave.
you want your stuff or not?
Yeah, I need to get your card though.
Oh, you'll get my card. I don't care.
I get your card. I'm getting. I was actually about to go get my ID when you guys came out.
Oh, okay. Well,
I didn't
That's
bring
why
it
we
in.
didn't need you
Yeah,
out here. We got it handled.
Yeah, we got it.
Joanne
Get your
took
ID.
care of
Get your
everything.
stuff.
We didn't need you out here.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
sounds like
okay.
and then you guys will get your stuff
Thanks,
back.
guys. Bye.
See you later.
Do you have his card?
See ya. Martinez, you're
Martinez, I need your card, man.
Yeah, you'll get one.
Thank you.
No problem.
When you get your ID, we'll get your stuff.
Really? Thanks a lot, Martinez. Moron. You know what? If you're raising your voice, you gotta leave. Don't you raise your voice at us. We got guns. They're still standing behind the door. They're still standing here, just watching. Just watching.
Hey guys.
So now I know why Reagan uses her childhood picture for her profile picture on everything. It's because she mentally has never matured. She has mentally stayed that age right there and proves it in every single video she's in. Especially the way she just spoke right then and there. The police officer is dealing with Christopher, first of all, not her. Okay? He asked Christopher a question or said something to Christopher, and immediately she turns and tells Christopher, do not talk to him. Again, proving I don't believe for 1 second Christopher really went on some high-speed chase with some guy that shot bullets into his truck because he can't even go anywhere without his security blanket, Regan. I mean, come on. Christopher has no manhood. He needs her to constantly tell him what to do, what to say it, when to pee, when to poo, when to eat, when to sleep. I mean, this is ridiculous. The way she talks to people, and not just anybody, but people she claims to care about. She talks to them like shit. She just did it to Christopher on camera. She took his manhood away right then and there. I mean, he never was a man. He never behaves like a man anyways. But she literally castrated him right then and there. It is ridiculous the way she behaves. It is ridiculous the way he behaves. But he seems to feed off of her the most. Like when he's with Sweaty Tea, he doesn't, I think he acts out more to impress her, because they're together. But he feeds off of Regan. It's almost like he's a little more calmer when he's with Regan. Maybe because he's afraid of her. I mean, look at what she just did. And when she said, do not talk to him, he shut up. Sorry, cat playing on one of the beams. It's just, I don't know. It's ridiculous the way that she thinks that she can go around talking to people and treating people. Even people that she claims to care about. I mean, it's embarrassing to all women the way she behaves. And she claims that she helps the homeless? Really? What help are you doing for the homeless when you go around behaving like a vile person? Like you're so vile. You're so belligerent and disgusting the way you talk to people and the way you act. How are you presenting the homeless people in a great light when that is your personality?
You got your cardio in? I love the back.
Yep. Can you come sign over here for me, please?
Now we got.
I gotta see what I'm signing for though.
This is a release receipt.
That's fine. Can you open it up so I can see what it is?
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay. A hooded sweatshirt.
Can you pull it out, please? Can you pull it out?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
All right, find the jump on, please. You see on me?
You want this back?
No, thank you. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 officers
For safety.
to return my property.
It's for safety. Hey guys, what's going on? Look at all this safety that's going on here. You backing up Martinez? You guys look like a bunch of dum-dums right now. You know that, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sergeant Martinez put you in this position.
All right,
This is too much of a
you guys.
position. You need to work on your
It's not
approach.
necessary, man.
And next time,
Well,
when your
we're
evidence
trying
guy
to-
comes out
we're
here,
trying to be
when
professional.
your evidence guy comes out here acting like that, and
We're trying to
you
be
hear, no,
professional
you're
here.
not
Okay.
trying to be professional.
You are not being professional with me. Okay.
You know what? You did not come out here and try to be
We're trying to be
professional. You
professional.
came out
Thank
here
you
to be
very much, okay?
confrontational because your
Thank you for
evidence
getting
guy
your
got
ID
his
for
ass
us, okay?
chewed.
All right, we'll see you later.
Have a great day, guys.
Yeah. Bye, dummies.
See you later.
Take care.
Waste of taxpayer money here. We got like 500,000 right here, so we can retrieve our property. Jeez, man. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the hoodie, guys. And I got this camping. But no, that's it, guys. That's how close it was.
Because the hood was down,
The hood
like,
went down like this. So it went through and nicked the hood.
Wow.
This was a pristine. It didn't have that when I was wearing it. So that's how close it went, guys. To my neck.
that's one for the record
So-
books. What is the sweatshirt anyway?
So the sweatshirt is. That was pretty cool. It's got
God's country. Angel Fire, New Mexico.
Well, you know, they needed those many police. Well, they didn't even need those many police officers there. Those police officers were actually there because even though they deal with the most disgusting of parasites on a daily basis, you know, when they go arrest people and stuff like that, they still had never seen anything as vile as Regan. So they had to see it for their own eyes, like they had to see. Like somebody came up and said, wow, you will never believe what is out there in that lobby. That is worse than what we drug in here last night. And they had to go see for themselves. And yeah, they saw it. They definitely saw it. How are they wasting taxpayer money? How? I'd love to know that because they're standing in their place of business where they work, where they were already at. It's not like they made a special trip into the office for this. They were already presently there. No taxpayer money was wasted or harmed during the making of this video. So I'm not sure where you want to end up wasting taxpayer money. Well, if you didn't act like an animal in a zoo, then you wouldn't have an audience staring at you like you were an animal in a zoo. If you behaved in public like an actual human being, then you wouldn't have an audience like that. You would think somebody wouldn't want people gawking at them as like in shock, but obviously she likes it. I don't know. But even if you two crying toddlers were not there, those officers would still be in that building working. So again, my point, no taxpayer money was used at any time or overused in that section of the video. It makes no sense. The only thing that these two managed to do in this video was show the world how uneducated and how pathetic and low class they both are. It's just as simple as it gets right there. And then I just saved you guys the horror of having to hear Christopher. But I guess somebody commented on his video about his hoodie saying, oh my goodness, yes, God's country and angels and all that, and God is looking over you and he was watching over you while you were wearing that hoodie. Well, yeah, I mean, God does look over the stupid more carefully than the rest of us because, you know, he knows the rest of us can take care of ourselves most of the time. But he does surely watch the stupid more carefully. So, don't know what you want to think about that one, girly girl and Christopher. But I don't know. They're so frustrating. I'm trying to be nice. So, guys, there it was. That was the video of Christopher going to the police department to retrieve a 4-year-old hoodie. And with him, he brought along his keeper and leash holder, Regan Benson. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know there was a lot of screeching and screaming in it. I apologize, but I didn't do it. It's part of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Be safe. I love you.